Starring Michelle Yeoh, the film quickly became a sensation upon its release. Despite being a low-budget project, its powerful word of mouth helped it spread rapidly, capturing global attention. Not only that, it outperformed numerous blockbusters at the North American box office, achieving remarkable success both critically and commercially. Although it wasn't widely known at first, the film still earned an impressive score of 8.7 from tens of thousands of viewers, with nearly 200,000 others eagerly anticipating it in the film. Michelle Yeoh plays Evelina, middle-aged Chinese woman struggling with life. Her daughter, Joy, grows increasingly rebellious, openly bringing her girlfriend home despite her mother's objections. At the same time, Evelyn is dealing with relentless pressure from a tax auditor, pushing her life further into chaos. Just when everything seems to spiral out of control, her husband suddenly begins acting strangely, as if possessed by another force. He hands Evelyn a mysterious pair of headphones and instructs her to follow his directions without telling anyone, as a mobile app finishes, scanning her brain. Evelyn's mind begins drifting through fragments of her past. From a happy childhood, to meeting her husband, to moving to America and running a small laundromat together. They eventually have a daughter, but over time, the distance between mother and child grows. While she remains lost in these memories, her husband suddenly urges her to follow bizarre instructions only to return to normal moments later, as if nothing had happened. At the tax office, Evelyn continues to be humiliated by the auditor. Overwhelmed, she decides to follow her husband's instructions. Once the headphones are activated, her consciousness is abruptly pulled into a strange space, where she meets another version of her husband from a different universe. He reveals that he has traveled across countless universes to find Herbie, because Evelyn is the only one who can save everything. Their universe is under threat from a terrifying evil force, and only she can restore balance. However, just as the conversation unfolds, Evelyn is pulled back to reality by the auditor. The constant shifts between worlds leave her completely disoriented. Meanwhile, the auditor continues to pressure her, even threatening severe penalties. Evelyn begins seeing strange reflections of another version of her husband in the mirror, as if she is slowly being drawn deeper into this fractured reality. Yet she stubbornly clings to the real world, focusing only on finishing her tax documents. Things quickly spiral out of control when a mysterious force begins chasing them. Her husband is suddenly attacked, his neck snapped by the auditor, who is now revealed to be a dangerous entity from another universe. Yet in reality, she still appears completely normal, and even gives Evelyn another chance to resubmit her paperwork. The overlapping realities leave Evelyn utterly lost amid the chaos. Her husband continues guiding her, but Evelyn misinterprets everything, believing she has entered an actual battle. When security guards rush in, she unexpectedly throws a punch and knocks out the auditor, only to realize it was all a misunderstanding. Then comes a devastating shock. She discovers that her husband is actually preparing to divorce her at that moment. Her husband's consciousness is once again replaced by another version. As security forces close in, he calmly puts on the headphones, performs a bizarre action, suddenly unlocks his power, transforming into a kung fu master and effortlessly taking down every opponent. In just moments, all the security guards are left sprawled across the floor. He even cleverly turns small stones from a fish tank into improvised weapons, taking down the remaining enemies one by one. Meanwhile, the tax auditor, still unaware of what's happening, suddenly witnesses the appearance of a mysterious figure who presses a hand against Evelyn's forehead, awakening her higher consciousness as they continue to flee. Her husband takes the opportunity to explain everything in detail. What Evelyn has been seeing may seem like hallucinations, but they are actually real events occurring in other universes. He reveals that every small decision creates a new universe, and the further apart those universes are, the harder it becomes to connect with them in the Alpha universe. Evelyn was the one who invented the technology that allows people to jump between universes, tapping into the abilities of their alternate selves. However, a terrifying entity known as the Great Demon King has emerged, creating a black hole capable of consuming everything and threatening the entire. As they try to escape, they are relentlessly pursued. Her husband reveals that he has died countless times while searching for her. Then, his normal consciousness briefly returns, and he confesses that the divorce papers were only meant to make Evelyn pay more attention to him soon after. The Demon King's subordinate, taking the form of the tax auditor, peers behind them and continues the chase. Evelyn's husband attempts another jump, but fails. In desperation, he uses a paper cut from an envelope to activate the ability, only to be defeated by the auditor. Despite hiding carefully, Evelyn is eventually discovered. She manages to initiate a jump into another universe, but her body is left behind and restrained by the auditor. In that alternate world, her husband shares the hardships of building a life in America, while in reality, the auditor uses her power to toss Evelyn around like a toy. Back in the real world, the couple looks at each other with tears in their eyes. Although the probability of mastering multiverse consciousness is incredibly low, Evelyn still decides to try. And just as the auditor leaps down from above to strike, Evelyn finally succeeds. In another universe, Evelyn never followed her husband to America. Instead, she became the disciple of a martial arts master and gradually rose to fame as a renowned kung fu superstar. When she awakens within that stream of consciousness, a single, subtle movement is enough for her to resolve the immediate crisis. Then, using graceful Tai Chi techniques, she effortlessly neutralizes the situation with the tax auditor. This experience leads Evelyn to question her past. If she had not chosen family life, how far could she have gone? At that moment, the husband from the Alpha universe appears. He longs to experience that version of success, but also warns her that abusing power from other universes can cause her consciousness to collapse, if then leading to death. In the Alpha universe, their daughter was once a prodigy. However, being pushed beyond her limits caused her mind to fracture and scatter across countless parallel universes. Now, she can travel freely between realities, experience endless possibilities, absorb infinite knowledge, and even manipulate the multiverse itself. As a result, she has lost all sense of morality and become a terrifying entity, the great Demon King beyond anyone's understanding, as Evelyn struggles to process everything. Her daughter, now possessed by the Demon King, appears on a lower floor of the building. But Evelyn accidentally slips into another universe where she is living her successful life. Meanwhile, in reality, she and her husband are captured by the FBI. Her husband warns that the next challenge may be fatal. Just then, the FBI realizes their colleagues have gone silent. The elevator is heading straight toward their floor. The doors open, and their daughter steps out calmly, holding a pet pig. When the FBI attempts to stop her, she simply presses her hand against an agent's face, instantly turning him into glitter. Another agent draws a gun, but her face twists unnaturally, dragging him into another reality. The bullets he fires end up hitting his own teammates. Within moments, all of them are defeated by her ability to manipulate space. At that point, Evelyn and her husband finally understand that their daughter has been completely consumed by the Demon King. It reveals to Evelyn a black hole shaped like a donut, a place containing all knowledge in the universe. Once you know everything, life loses all meaning, and even pain and guilt disappear. As the Demon King prepares to use the black hole to consume everything, it is suddenly struck by a wheelchair. The one who appears is Evelyn's father from the Alpha universe. He has returned to deal with the situation, as the Demon King has now invaded this universe. In the real world, Joy regains consciousness, but Evelyn restrains her in order to explain the multiverse. However, both Joy and her husband believe she has gone insane. At that moment, Evelyn's father from Alpha arrives and forces her to kill her own daughter to eliminate the Demon King. Despite the pressure, Evelyn cannot bring herself to harm her child. When her father points a gun at her, she suddenly performs a bizarre dance to distract him, then seizes the opportunity to destroy the weapon and escape into a hidden room behind them. Enraged, her father orders his subordinates to eliminate both his daughter and granddaughter. By now, Evelyn has begun to master the universe-jumping ability. She rapidly shifts between realities, inhabiting the body of a blind person, then an opera singer, using heightened senses and unique skills to evade attacks. She even tosses gas masks to her husband and daughter. But a brief moment of distraction allows her to be struck disrupting her jump. With no other choice, Evelyn performs even more absurd jumps, swallowing a toy frog and wielding a shield like a signboard to fight. In her hands, the shield becomes a perfect weapon, both defensive and offensive. She easily defeats waves of enemies, spinning the shield in a 360-degree attack that clears them all. But as she steps outside, she is confronted by her father. In a decisive moment, Evelyn activates the power from her Kung Fu universe, using a one-finger meditation strike to knock him back. With this strength, she swiftly defeats the remaining enemies. However, after the battle, she is completely exhausted both physically and mentally. The husband from Alpha barely escapes, only to be defeated shortly after by the Demon King when he regains consciousness. He returns to being her original husband, as Evelyn prepares for the final confrontation. The overuse of multiverse jumping causes her mind to collapse. She vomits, then loses consciousness. Her awareness begins drifting across countless universes before returning to reality. But it is not over yet. The Demon King, still in her daughter's body, drags her into its domain, revealing the massive black hole. Evelyn's consciousness is pulled into it, and she begins an endless journey across the multiverse. In the end, Evelyn finally understands the feelings of the great Demon King. After witnessing every possible version of existence across countless universes, she gradually begins to see life as meaningless. She stops caring about anything and becomes willing to destroy everything in her path. Her consciousness spreads across the multiverse, absorbing infinite information, and she slowly transforms into a second great Demon King. But then, in a strange moment, she turns into a stone, and the great Demon King also becomes a small rock lying beside her, in a universe where life has never existed. In truth, the great Demon King has wandered through countless universes just to find someone who could understand him. He has grown tired of this endless existence and longs to end everything by entering the black hole. But at that moment, Evelyn suddenly realizes that in every universe, her husband is always struggling to survive, holding on to the small, meaningful things in life. That realization helps her regain her faith in life, and she refuses to walk into the black hole with him. However, the great Demon King immediately begins the ritual, summoning the black hole into reality and pulling everything around it into oblivion. He moves toward it without hesitation, but Evelyn realizes that he is still a part of her daughter. As she tries to save him, his subordinates intervene and even open fire on her. Strangely, every bullet stops in front of her and transforms into harmless objects before falling away. With her newfound power, Evelyn restores balance, guiding everyone back to themselves and reclaiming her own humanity. After a heartfelt apology, she and her father finally resolve the conflicts of the past. Just as the great Demon King is about to leap into the black hole, Evelyn pulls him back, and the two are dragged into a series of confrontations across multiple universes. In the final moment, as he is nearly consumed, Evelyn uses all her strength to bring him back. Her father and husband, moved by her actions, join in to help in the real world. Evelyn opens her heart to her daughter, and they finally speak honestly with each other. Through that, the great Demon King is brought back. Misunderstandings are resolved, and the multiverse is finally restored to balance. After all the chaos across the multiverse, the film is not just a crazy action or sci-fi spectacle. What it truly wants to tell is something deeply human. The film's greatest strength lies in its almost limitless creativity. From bizarre ideas like sausage fingers and sentient rocks to its unique take on the multiverse, everything feels both hilarious and surprisingly profound. On top of that, Michelle Yeoh delivers a phenomenal performance, portraying multiple versions of herself while maintaining a consistent emotional core throughout. However, the film's weakness also stems from that very same craziness. Its layered narrative and constant shifts between universes can easily overwhelm viewers, especially in the first half. For those unfamiliar with nonlinear storytelling, the film may feel confusing and difficult to follow, but in the end, the film raises a powerful question. If everything is meaningless, then why do we keep living? And its answer is beautifully simple. It's the small things, family, love, and kindness, that give life its meaning. No matter how many versions of you may exist out there, the version you are right now is still the one that matters most. This is not an easy film to watch, but it is undoubtedly a film worth watching. Because sometimes, in the middle of everything, everywhere, all at once, what truly matters is the person right beside you, in this very moment.
If you find this video interesting, please give it a like, click on a subscribe button in order not to miss the incoming videos. Goodbye, and see you then.